Hey everyone. Um, I made a two-part video the other day explaining why the Amico really doesn't have a chance. I don't know if it takes a brain scientist or a little me YouTuber who knows nothing, but everything I talked about in those two videos in my last, I took them down because I didn't like the way they came out. I wanted someone to edit them for me, but I just deleted them. And I'm just going to go over it again and go over things that nobody tells you, even the experts. Let's talk about, I'm gonna start it off different. Everyone talks about the pandemic, the pandemic of 2020. Just from stores that I go to, thrift shops, collectible stores, the board games, like the things that Amico is going to try to do, stuff like board games, coach co-op play and stuff like that. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but if Amico had been released in 2019 and went through the pandemic, then they would have had a way better chance of succeeding because people were staying home and they were playing board games. Now, you know what happened to the board games now? They went back to the freaking thrift stores, donated, and nobody's playing board games again. So yeah, if the Amico had released in 2019 and was available during the pandemic, they would have had a way better chance of succeeding. Now instead, it only got delayed 3 times, and because of the COVID. So getting right to the point, the ball's already been dropped. The chances the Intellivision Amico had during the pandemic are gone. So that's one. I mean, that's just the major thing. The lack of online play, not a problem for your 52-year-olds. For instance, me, I don't play online, so I have in the past, the recent, but not real recent, but I have, but I never really caught on for me. But do I think that online play is huge? Yes. For the teenagers into the 30s, this generation, let's say, yeah, you put your headphones on and you shoot up everything in Call of Duty, run everyone over in GTA, and yeah. So constantly swear at the people you're playing with. Yeah. So online play, the lack of online play, big strike right there for the Amico. Lack of violent games. Again, I don't play violent. I've played violent games in the past, but I started off in the early '80s without violent games. Simple one-button games, shooters, Space Invaders, Pac-Man. Today, the lack of violence in games would most likely be a problem because your teenagers, and again, like I said, this generation, I'm not just saying this generation, people my age like them too, but I'm saying me in particular, I don't care for violent games. I think it definitely has an impact on social society, but whatever. But anyway, as far as for Amico, the lack of violence in games is probably overall going to be a problem for the teens and the generation asking for this for this thing to even be purchased. So that's another strike. The lack of mainstream, like I said, I don't see how Shark, and Finnegan Fox, and Evil Knievel. I mean, I like Evil Knievel because I grew up on him. But today's society, teenagers today, they don't know who Evil Knievel, I don't think, even is. So the lack of mainstream pop culture. I mean, yeah, they talked about an Earthworm Jim, but come on. I mean, you ain't gonna have Mario. You ain't gonna have Zelda. You ain't gonna have Pokemon. You ain't gonna have Pikachu. I mean, Nintendo has all that. Then there's those other games like Minecraft and I keep not remembering the other one that's popular, like Minecraft for the teens and the kids. But anyway, the lack of those games, I can't see Brain Duel taking over for children that play Minecraft. I mean, I just see strikes everywhere. The lack of a media player, like I said, like I mentioned, no disc drive, so obviously no playing Blu-rays or 4K movies or anything like that. Not a problem for most people because you already have consoles that do that. But still, if it's someone's first system and only system, the lack of a DVD drive to play Blu-ray and stuff, I mean, I just see that as another little strike. Again, getting back to teenagers that play online with the headphones. Like I mentioned before, parents can monitor so much. These kids are gonna get their games for Christmas, for their birthdays. They're gonna get them. I mean, ratings or not, violence or not, they're gonna get their games. As long as they stay out of the parents' hair and keep them busy, they'll let them play whatever they want. The majority. So, getting back to the teens, I mean, a teen is going to ask for a cell phone as soon as they can get one over an Amico controllers. I mean, your 16-year-old daughter that's about to get her license, she's all excited about having a cell phone for social media so she could do Snapchat and Instagram and this and that. So I don't know. I mean, I keep hearing the target is your soccer moms and teens and children. But now I'm telling you all these facts that no one talks about. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the smartest person in the world, but this is pretty much common sense to why this thing really doesn't have a chance. By the way, teens will ask for a cell phone to do that stuff I told you. They're not going to be asking for a cell phone so they can have an extra controller on Amico. Xbox, and this is when the cost comes in. A lot of people ask the question, is the cost a problem? For somebody that hasn't recently bought a Switch and buying games for that and invested into that, collectors right now have bought either a Polymega or a Evercade. They just came out. They're releasing the home. I mean, in the end, I think this is the way in television Amico should have went, is the more private release like Evercade, like just Target and collectors. I mean, I think this whole thing about Target and soccer moms, children, and families is the wrong approach. Because, I mean, all these reasons. Now your cost, it's going to be a problem, the cost for your soccer mom out there that already purchased a Switch for their kids, already I mean, some of these teenagers are still waiting on a PS5 and an Xbox Series X because of the lack of that being released. You still got people waiting for that. So, I mean, the cost is a problem when you're buying all this, when you've already either bought or got to buy all this other stuff. So I just don't see where the Amico comes in, except for, people like me. Okay, then we have reputation. We all know that this company already has a bad reputation. The CEO, Tommy T, we all know. I mean, I have no problem with him, but I mean, all the mistakes that have been made, the delays, the marketing of this so far, I just don't see it. The lack of a mascot, we already talked about. I mean, Nintendo's got Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Pikachu. Xbox Series X and PlayStation have the option of having a disc drive. They play online and they play all these, games like GTA and Call of Duty and numerous other games. I don't even know the new games anymore. But those are the ones that come to mind. Yeah, so I think I probably didn't even, I probably even missed a few things, but I mean, sports games. I did mention this before. For me, that's not a problem because I just happen not to follow sports anymore. Would I play a nice arcadey type game, which I think that's what Amico and Television should be targeting? Who cares about? I mean, if you're gonna be a system like Amico, why do you need an MLB license or an NFL license? Just go with the old school arcade fun playing sports games. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have the players and stuff, but these other systems already do that. So I mean, just give us back some classic Tecmo Bowl and Baseball Stars. If the license is there, then fine. But if it ain't, Baseball Stars didn't have a license. That was one of the funnest baseball games I ever played in my life. Tecmo Bowl did have the license, and that was simple, nice gameplay. I mean, if you're going to do something like that, fine. But the lack of, Xbox Series X and PS5 have that covered already, sports games. So, and you could play them online, and you won't be able to play them online on the Amico. So, I'm sorry. As much as I want the Television Amico to come out, I just don't see it. I just don't see it being a big release and being successful for a long time. I just don't see it. For the 52-year-old me that grew up on video gaming in the late 70s, early 80s, yes, I'm familiar with the Intellivision name. But today, it's soccer moms and children and teens, and they don't know what they know what Sony is, they know what Xbox is, and they know what Nintendo is. The cost, like I said, for me isn't a problem because I didn't buy a Switch. I don't plan to buy an Xbox Series X or a PS5. Plus, I collect other things. So the cost to me, as far as the release date to me, isn't a problem because I don't care if it gets delayed 6 times and it finally comes out. The delays don't bother me because I collect other things. So, but do more delays affect the success of the system? Absolutely. But the cost and the release dates, those are no problem for me. But why is the Amico geared towards me? Simple games like I used to play, which I enjoy playing, not just because Not just because that's what I grew up on and that's all I want to play. It's what I like to play. I like to play simple games for high scores, shooters. Yeah, I mean, like Moon Patrol and Missile Command, reimagined games. Yeah, I mean, I don't expect today's kids to like them games, but and I don't think they will catch on to those games. Now, the best thing the Amico has going for it is the controllers. I mean, yeah, like I said, I started off with a joystick and one button. Eventually, when we got the Master System and Nintendo, we got the gamepad with 2, 3, 4, 6 buttons. Today, on the new systems, up to starting with the PS3, the GameCube, you know, you started getting up to 12, 16. Now there's probably 20 buttons on a controller. So the new controllers are great. I mean, I'd love to hold this thing and play it. I mean, because I'm ready for a new change. I mean, I don't really play the new games anymore. So I would love to experience that. For me, I mean, another thing that that the Amico has going for it is couch co-op. But again, like I said, that would have been good during the pandemic. I mean, I don't know how many families, I mean, kids go off to college. Like for me, my wife's not even a gamer. Would she play maybe in television with me? I could probably get her to play with me. But my son, I used to play a lot of, when my son lived at home, we used to play a lot of sports games. Back in the day, I used to have more friends and cousins over, so I played a lot more two-player games. But to be honest with you, if I ever get my hands on the Amico, I'm not really buying it for that. I'm buying it pretty much to play it alone. So which isn't a problem. So the lack of sports games, like right now, the only thing that's been announced is an MLB. But I mean, and for me, that's my favorite sport out of the American sports is baseball. So that's a plus for me. But do I think it's a plus for today generation? No, because actually baseball probably comes last to NFL, NBA, and NHL. I mean, to me, out of those four, MLB is my favorite, but not to today's generation. I think these three come before baseball. So, I mean, yes, it's geared towards me. Do I need a disk drive? No. The lack of violence is okay with me because I really don't care for violent games. I enjoy shooters. I enjoy platformers. I enjoy old school type games. So, do I like playing on a cell phone? Absolutely not. So even if these games are like phone app games, they're not phone app games, but that's what's been said. They're like, that's not a problem for me because I don't mind playing on the big screen. I am 52 and the eyes aren't as good as they used to be. So portables, I'm not really a portable guy. I've had portables. I had a PSP Go and I had Game Gear in the day, and I've had portables, but I don't currently play portables. I'd rather play them at home on my TV screen. So that's not a problem for me. Like I said before, the lack of pop culture. I mean, I can find my pop culture in other ways. But Finnegan Fox and Shark. I mean, that's okay with me if that's and Evil Knievel. But I mean, I don't know if this has been said. These things have been said already. I hear a lot of blah blah from both sides. I'm a middle person, and I'm being told that no one cares about the middle person. Well, I'm here to tell you that I think I have more facts than the haters are going to tell you, and I got more facts than the cult's going to tell you. I mean, if this doesn't make sense to you, then check and see if you're human, because I might not be perfectly correct about all this, but the reasons why I think that the Intellivision Amico is pretty much doomed as far as being widely released. I don't think it's totally doomed, because I mentioned this before. The company has gone far enough to where the founders may get theirs, because I'm sure Tommy will do anything he can to at least get it to the founders, so he doesn't come off as a total, that I don't, like I said before, I don't think this was planned to be a scam. I just think that the 8 ball never got rolling. It stopped, delayed, stopped, delayed. This thing, the television Amico, in my opinion, would have been successful right now. It'd be in its prime right now if it was released in 2019. But with a late 2021 release target, I don't think this thing's ever going to see store shelves. I think at this point, unless Tommy's got a big ace in his sleeve, which I don't see that because of all these things I just told you. I mean, the things that are being targeted, the family, the soccer moms, the children, and the teenagers, all these things I just mentioned don't benefit that. So I just don't see it happening. I don't see this being a mass-produced successful system for a long time. I think if anything, this may get a small founders release, and then I think they should just try. After that, they should just try to sell the first batches through the internet from Intellivision amico.com. They should not even bother trying to put these in stores. Why even put these in stores with the other systems I just said? The Xbox Series X, the Switch, and the PS5. Why even bother that? At this point, the company should just market this like the Evercade and just reach out to collectors. Because someone like me, I don't know how everyone else feels, but if I can get my hands on this thing as a finished product and I have to order it through Intellivision.com and maybe it only lasts a few years, and by the end we have 60 games for it, that's fine with me. I'd keep the thing probably forever, even if it was dead in the water and long gone, and it left behind 60 games to play with. I mean, we have systems from the early 80s that, there's homebrews now that you can, still buy for those systems. But what I'm saying is, even if you're left with 40 to 60 games, and you have the system already, and there's no I think they would become valuable if they were produced in small numbers. It'd be a collector's item, I think. But it would be even if you couldn't even get it online anymore, as long as you have all your games on there. I don't see why the thing wouldn't be collectible, at least. And maybe just the company can make their money back, and fulfill it to a point to the founders and a couple batches to the public through the internet. And I would call it a day and just try to get through a couple of years. I mean, there's too many things against it for this thing to sell millions and to be in every home like the Wii. I mean, we already had that with the Wii, like I said before. The Wii was in every living room, every grandma and every child. We were creating them and playing the bowling game. And it lasted for a few years, but I mean, it didn't last forever. You can find Wii's at every garage sale you go to. I mean, they're not in living rooms anymore. So I just don't see I don't see why everyone's getting all worked up, both sides. I mean, I'm sorry to the ones who really want this to be something. You have to be reasonable and you have to come to your senses. As much as you're in my age group and as much as you're in my situation and it's geared for you like it is for me, I'm looking at it as reality. I'm looking at it and today's generation, the kids, the children and teens and soccer moms that you're trying to reach out to, everything I just explained, there's nothing there for them. The cost is a problem. Everything I just told you about. For us, it's not, because we're collectors. We collect. So we'll pay anything to get something in our collection. But soccer moms who are driving their kids around with the gas prices and to practices and to real sports and they've already bought numerous things for their kids when it comes to video games. I don't see this as being another one that they're going to buy because the kids are going to play with us. No, the kids are going to play Call of Duty with their headphones on and swear up a storm, and that's that. They're not going to ask for this. It's not going to be what the fans out there want. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. You heard it here first, I guess. If it took if it took a scientist to figure this out, well, then I'm a scientist. I figured it out. If you guys don't see this, then I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, I'm not going to keep going here. I think you get the point. Hopefully this video's better. I mean, it's not as long. All right, boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, I'll be up probably all night tonight. I'm probably going to pull an all-nighter. I'm going to go get breakfast in the morning. I'm going to get my coffee, and I'm going to go to Retro World Expo in Hartford, Connecticut. So I'm going to post a couple videos in Monday, Tuesday of my pickups at the expo and footage from the expo. And maybe I'll hope to see any of you there. Hit like, subscribe. I don't know. I'll keep trying this. All right. Peace out.